Welcome to my garden. Come in, come in. We'll show you around. This is my garden is looking this year. This is where my garden always starts. My starting pots, I plant seeds in here, and I leave some of them to grow after I've transplanted them, mostly squash. So that's what you're seeing, but there is some things that are not squash growing here. Something my granddaughter likes right here, Swiss chard. But most of these are squash. Here's some more Swiss chard. Come to think of it, I'm going to have to move that out. See what's happening? The squash is taking it over. So when I got two hands, I'm going to move that further away, put it somewhere else. I may have to do that with both of these, actually. These squash plants will take over in the pots that they're in. And there's some cucumbers down here, and more squash. And this, something totally new, an experiment. I don't even know how well it's doing. Let me see what I wrote that it was, because I forgot. It says, it's okra. I'm sorry. I don't know what okra's supposed to look like, ultimately. I haven't got a clue. So we're going around the edges of the garden here. These are pole beans. I had good luck with them. I have somebody yelling, but I'm going to ignore them because I want to make this in one shot. These are pole bean plants that I planted all along the edge, and hopefully I get a lot of them because they don't all come in at once. These are more squash. These are Brussels sprout plants. Now, as you can see, if you look carefully, you see the secret of my gardening. You'll notice there's almost no weeds in this garden. And that's pretty much the story. It takes a while to get it perfect, but you just keep piling on the lawn clippings as the season starts and as you plant things. And there's very little weeding. You can see there is some weeds. It takes very little time to keep up with these. See, there's like some there's some there. It's just one or two here and there. And I can easily come out and weed them. We have critter problems, though. This one is not a problem. This kitty has many names. Her original owner's names were Little Girl and Precious. We call her Baby Cakes predominantly, but she's had other names like Licky, because she's always licking herself. Okay, the next row is corn. I spaced it further apart this year. And at the very end of that corn row is another new experiment this year doing well. Lima beans, and they're just starting to flower, which means the beans are not far behind. So we'll see how those come out. The next row, some more squash. This garden is heavy on squash. We'll probably have a lot this year. We'll give them away. That's okay. And tomatoes. The ever famous tomato. We have three kinds of tomatoes in this garden. We have medium-sized beefsteaks, and we have Sweet 100 cherries. The next row starts off with more of the there's squash and there's cucumbers here. There's one squash and some cucumbers. More tomatoes down the very end there. More, I spread them out. More Brussels sprouts. I had a critter problem, and I was trying to put them around so that maybe he wouldn't get them all. This next row is all tomatoes, starting out with lots of cherry tomatoes and then some, I think, medium or beefsteak ones at the very end. And then the next row is a Brussels sprout and all squash beyond that. Yes, I can have a lot of squash. And the final row here is cucumbers. I should really plant more cucumbers, but it never seems to work out that way. But that's what this is. It's a whole bunch of cucumbers. And then next to it is a whole bunch of bush beans. And I just picked a crop of those. It's really big. I gave a bunch away, and I'm eating a bunch of them, and they're delicious. And once I'm done eating these, I imagine the pole beans that we're growing will start to come in, and there'll be a consistent crop of them. But there's still regular beans coming. I'll show you some here. Right here. You can see there's still plenty more to pick. And they'll probably flower again and make some more. They usually flower 2, maybe 3 times. Right here was the only failure this year. Crop fail. That was a Brussels sprouts. It may yet turn into something, but I'm doubting it. It's too far behind. And that little clump of stuff you see there was all that even began to grow of snow peas. All the rest that were all in this black area here, there's nothing in, it all failed. And I think the critter actually did eat those. So I've planted more to see if I get a fall crop. Another experiment. We'll see how that one works out. They haven't even germinated yet. I just planted them this past week. We do have some squash in here ready, I can see. Like, here's one. Here's one right here. And another one over there, I think. There's a bunch coming. And over here is a zucchini squash. I don't see any Trombosino that I can show you. They're totally different and unique. Most people don't know what they are. Those are the 3 types of squash I grow, and that's a quick tour of the garden.